guys? Welcome to the show. I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And here are the goods. So, box office scares dominated last weekend, and with The Conjuring winning #1 with over $40 million domestically.
That's actually surprising because I figured it was going to be Warcraft with all the money that it actually made in China that it would actually take #1 to see it just get trounced by.
But you know, and I'm glad you brought that up. But it was a massive success. I believe it did like over 200 million overseas, 270 maybe million overseas and domestically. Domestically, it only did like a little over 25, maybe 28. And that's what we talked about in the last show, that it was going to do about that kind of money.
Yeah, but China hates Star Wars.
And sure enough, man, freaking international dollars saved that movie. Yep. Which, you know what? It's a hit and miss. I mean, just because Americans don't watch it, don't mean that it sucks. I mean, you know, it's a hit and miss. You know, so you can pretty much see part 2 coming out, you know, because I think they want to do a trilogy.
Yeah, it's set up to be a trilogy. Now I say, because it's a big hit in China, and so is Transformers a big hit in China, they've been trying to do this whole crossover thing with Transformers, then they can just do a Warcraft Transformers crossover, because that's about how much sense the Transformers make now. Just go on and do it, Michael Bay.
Oh my God. Well, if you guys have not seen Terrence's review on The Conjuring, it was great. So be sure you guys check that out. For me, I thought it was actually pretty good. There was some essence of the first one, with you know, from the first Conjuring, and for newer horror titles like The Babadook. That, you know, there were little the Crooked Man, you know, kind of resembled the Babadook. And with successes of The Conjuring that spinned off into Annabelle, don't be surprised if you see a spin-off of The Crooked Man.
The Crooked Man and the Valak character. If the Valak character doesn't make it back for the trilogy, I can see, well, the Crooked Man definitely is going to do a spin-off, but Valak will probably either be back for the trilogy, and if not, if they choose like a different story, because these are all based on their whole investigations, then I can see Valak end up being spinned off into its own movie. So
well, James Wan and some of the writers and you know, people around in the studios for was it Lions? Who does The Conjuring?
The Conjuring is done by Blumhouse.
There you go. They've been looking at some of the cases from the Warrens, and there's about 20-30 cases that kind of intrigue.
20-30 sequels.
Exactly.
I do have something specific, but I'm not gonna say it. Son of a, I don't know.
Well, Conjuring 3 could potentially be about werewolves.
No, I'm out. I'm out of this franchise.
You tapping?
I'm out.
You tapping?
I'm out of this franchise now. If you do a werewolf, I'm out.
Ed Warren published a book called Werewolf: True Story of Demonic Possession, where the demon itself was a werewolf. So it's a potential that actually happened. Who knows? I don't know.
And how they spin it? If they just make it a possession movie and the person being possessed exhibits werewolf-like tendencies, but we don't have like a full change, and they feel like it's a ghost making them do, maybe I could kind of buy it. I could probably kind of buy it. But if they go and get Taylor Lautner and have him star in the movie, I'm done. They
kind of want to go in the essence of an American Werewolf in London. So if they go that route, you know, with a little bit of supernatural demonic possession, maybe, you know, I mean, it's James Wan's really good, so maybe he can pull that off.
Have you ever seen those things about lycanthropy, which basically it's a mental disease where people think that they're werewolves?
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, and
that could be it too.
Yeah, so they go through the change and stuff like that. So that's why I can kind of buy it. But once again, don't Twilight, my movie. Dude,
yeah, you're only doing something. I mean, even your spinoff was pretty good. So don't screw it up. But just, you know, throwing, you know,
find another case.
Throw Lautner. That's funny. James Wan is going to be a little busy right now because he's going to be directing Aquaman. So it's a possibility he may not come back to direct Conjuring 3 unless the studio can wait a little while till he finishes Aquaman. And but he may produce. You know, he's already producing the new horror flick coming out this later this year or this summer, Lights Out.
Ooh, can't wait for that one.
So that's so you know, he's still busy in that role, but his primary job is going to be Aquaman. So we'll see what happens with that. So Terrence's favorite subject, which he just brought up, Transformers 5 news.
Yay! Yeah, can't you see the excitement in my face?
So there's some plot details that have come out on the internet. And,
Ooh, let's hear these.
and supposedly, first of all,
let me guess the plot details.
go ahead.
There's gonna be a hot girl in tight shorts, and there's gonna be a bunch of American flags, and there's gonna be like sunsets throughout the day.
Military slow motion.
Military slow motion. They're gonna do the bad boy spin around camera thing, and
And a lot
and frantic action that you can't understand what's going on. Boom, Transformers 5. I wrote it right now.
At the end of Age of Extinction, Optimus Prime goes off into space with his new jetpack, which is they needed a ship to ride in space, but now he can ride with a jetpack. So he finds Cybertron. So that jetpack must have a lot of fuel. So they find Cybertron.
Did Jetfire give him his parts?
Yes.
Well, why does he need a jetpack now?
Cybertron is a dead planet that he finds. Okay.
Well,
he has found a way to resurrect it, to bring it back.
The golden age of Cybertron, just like in the movie.
And
or the TV show.
But all he needs is an artifact. And guess where the artifact is?
It's not the Matrix?
It's on Earth. And the artifact is...
Why are you leaving the planet then?
and because he didn't know that the artifact was on Earth.
I'll be mad.
Well, I just left. Why didn't you tell me this when I was over there?
Y'all can call. We're robots. We
Damn.
Go on.
So the artifact is believed to be tied to King Arthur's court.
Is that what the night thing is about? Oh my God! Who wrote this?
And it's also believed to be part of like of Merlin. That Merlin does have something to do with it.
Space Knight thing.
And
I was almost on board with that.
And it could be Excalibur.
Oh. 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 All right, look. I'm a Resident Evil fan. I'm a fan of the games and stuff like that. But I never had the amount of attachment to Resident Evil as I had with Transformers. But for the people who are super duper Resident Evil fans, the way that they screwed over the films and things, and I understand what they go through. It's just like, just stop. Can you just please? I would rather you not make another movie than to keep putting out crap like this. This just hurts me as a fan of this franchise, not of this franchise, but of the Transformers franchise. It just hurts my feelings. It's basically like they just wrote a big F you to me. To me personally, like they just went and said, oh, you know what's really gonna piss him off? Just wait, we're gonna dive back to Earth after we just had Optimus leave, tease you with Cybertron, and then we say, go back, and not only just go back and find some artifact, let's go find the most unobscure object that we can find on Earth. God, well, this is probably mythical. So now we're saying King Arthur is real.
And Merlin, and so with
can we have? Oh wait! This is the tie-in. No, this is the tie-in. I got it. This is where Visionaries comes in. This is where Visionaries comes in. This is the tie-in.
Right. So with Optimus looking for this artifact, Bumblebee is pretty much taking over the role as leader. Okay. And the Dinobots will actually.
Bumblebee still can't talk, right?
I don't know.
How are they following him?
Well, he does the radio. So baby, come back. Will be playing or something. Move, bitch. Get out the way. That's what he's gonna say. All right, so
please, Michael Bay, do that.
The Dinobots will actually have a larger role in this, so you can see Grimlock.
We'll actually have some words, and
maybe
it won't just be an oversized horse, because that's all he really was.
Pretty much, and Anthony Hopkins, who was recently brought on, is actually playing the voice
Hannibal Lecter
of a hello, Optimus. So he's actually playing possibly the creator of the Transformers. I guess I'm not sure.
Is he?
But he's playing the voice of either a robot or something. He's not himself is not going to come out in the movie, but he will voice.
All right. So the options are he could be a Quintesson, which with the 5 faces and stuff like that, he could be a Quintesson because those are the creators of the Transformers.
Right.
Or he could be Alpha Centurion. Which was kind of a prime and not kind of a prime, which basically was the mentor for Optimus. Kind of the role, exactly. That was Sentinel, but they called him Sentinel instead of they changed his name. But so they still have opportunity to do that if they're going to say that he's on Cybertron.
Maybe they couldn't pronounce it, so they just said Sam.
Whatever. So I can, but I have no idea what they're doing with this franchise. I really don't know.
Well,
this is the first time I'm gonna say I'm not gonna see it. I'm not gonna see it. I'm not gonna.
You are gonna see it because you gotta hate it.
I'm not gonna see it.
And then we're gonna end up doing You Don't Hate on it.
I'm not gonna see it. People just gotta tell me how bad it was, because I'm just not. I refuse. I gave it 4 movies. I gave Resident Evil 2 movies. I gave this 4 movies. For what?
For Resident Evil.
No, I didn't go to the last one. That was it was released on video.
Oh. Well, anyway,
because that was their 3D one.
Well, speaking of, first of all, let's see if Michael Bay can actually pull this off, which I seriously doubt it. But if you are right, and they are using these subtle, subplots and everything to link the universe later, similar to the way Avengers
Visionaries.
did. The way, but similar to the way the Avengers did with Iron Man and all that, it's a possibility. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now you mentioned Resident Evil, starring the beautiful Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
Well, one of the great female action
Ultraviolet.
actresses.
Underrated.
Yeah, I've never seen it. So they've recently announced that there's going to be an all-female cast remake of Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
And it's going to star Sandra Bullock and recently Helena Bonham Carter, Kate Blanchett, Mindy Kaling from the Mindy Project, and Elizabeth Banks just put things signed on also.
Yeah, and Jennifer Lawrence dropped out.
Well, did she drop out, or they haven't offered it yet?
No, they offered it, and then she dropped out due to scheduling conflicts, and then that's when they picked up Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, okay. So it's it's shaping up to be a pretty decent cast. With the Ghostbusters reboot, women are they're making their presence felt on the big screen with all these with all these remakes and stuff, showing the woman's touch on some of these franchises. I
like that this one is technically not a remake; it's more of a spin-off. So that's what they really should have done with Ghostbusters, but that ties it into the universe. It still can be its own thing, and then you don't have to worry about redoing something that somebody else did and dealing with the backlash of not doing it right. So
she does play Danny Ocean's sister, right? Yeah, she plays his sister. After I guess they were working together. What was the last movie they worked together on?
You got me.
Bullock and Clooney. Gravity?
Yes, it was Gravity.
They played Gravity. They were in Gravity together. So I guess they always kept that bond there. So so hey, there's your sister. Okay, now real quick though, a couple episodes ago, you wanted to go off on this. What was your big problem with having an all-female reboot of Ocean's 11?
Oh, because when it was first announced, it was announced as a reboot, and I was like, come on, we just went through this with Ghostbusters. Don't do this again with Ocean's 11. And I was like, why would that need to be rebooted? It isn't that old, and they gave us a trilogy.
Spider-Man.
It didn't, because he's not even being talked to anymore. It didn't need to be rebooted. And it didn't need to do a gender swap on a film that wasn't that old. So for Ghostbusters, I can kind of understand it. For Ocean's 11, I didn't understand it at all, and it was kind of upsetting. But I'm hating women, not that I want women to be cast in things. I'm just saying that the reboot and to just change it just to follow Ghostbusters didn't make sense to me. To do it as a sequel and have an all-women's cast, or a spinoff, not a sequel, but a spinoff, and have an all-women's cast, I'm totally fine with that. Please do it. It sounds really good, and they're gonna tie George Clooney into it with the brother thing. So yeah, I'm good. I'm on board. Yeah, now you have me on board. Before you didn't.
Next week's top 5, and I'm making it now.
What?
It's going to be the top 5. It's going to be it's going to be the top 5 remake/reboots with all female cast. Which one should they be? Save it for later. Save it for next time.
Oh, what should they be?
What should they be? What should just be quiet. Okay. Just think about it. That's next week.
It's interesting.
All right. So we just mentioned Spider-Man, which is a reboot that really did not need to happen, but silver lining is that Marvel did it right. So
it kind of did.
So the newest member of the Spider-Man Homecoming, which already includes Robert Downey Jr., Marissa Tomei, Michael Keaton, and now Mr. Dong Glover himself, Donald Glover, will be joining the cast. Now he's famous for his stand-up, pretty funny guy. He does music too, right? Doesn't he do music, Aspen?
Yeah, he raps.
He raps. He's a rapper. Yeah. Childish Gambino. Ain't that what you said?
Yes.
Childish Gambino. That's his rap name. Well, he's like I said, he's usually he was in Community. He was in Community. So they've been pushing for him to be Miles Morales.
Yeah.
All right, so
But now he's too old.
But now he's too old. He's 32 years old, and the way they're rebooting this, hiring a 17-year-old Tom Holland to play Peter Parker, he's a little too old to
I mean, if
play
they kept Garfield,
Miles Morales.
maybe they could have done it.
Yeah, because Garfield was still in his 20s, actually his early 20s or whatever, to play high school guy. So it's not far-fetched. They can do it. You know, but
I think they're just tying it in because he was rumored for the position or for the cast, even rumored to be Peter Parker at one particular point. So I think they're just like, hey, you know what? Kind of strung you along for a bit. You want to be in this movie? Come on, having it. We'll give you a role. Maybe he's a mentor to somebody. Maybe he's at Peter Parker's school. Maybe he does tie into Miles Morales, but he's just not Miles Morales.
Maybe he's like the brother or the uncle or the whatever. Man, I'm making him that old. He's an uncle. Well, anyway.
I'm Don Morales.
Oh man.
Spanish, wouldn't he be Juan Morales?
But I just remember when earlier when he in his stand-up, he was talking about his name and his dong lover. Like maybe I should change that. Like, yeah. Anyway, so that's going to be pretty interesting. Whatever they decide to do with that. Back in about 20 years ago, when Kevin Smith was really famous, who he just directed the Flash, a couple Flash episodes tying into the comic world here.
What?
He did the second movie that he did after Clerks was Mallrats.
Yes.
Underrated movie. I thought that movie was freaking funny as hell, and there's so many freaking quotable lines on it, and just it's funny. I love that movie. It's freaking funny.
The whole universe.
Yeah, it's
What's
just
the universe called the Asnew or. He has a whole universe.
It's the Jersey. Wasn't it the Jersey?
He has a. They show the book.
It's View Askew.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's Mallrats is pretty funny. Well, they've always wanted to do a sequel, Mallrats 2. Now all these people are
they're old now,
right? So how about Mallbrats?
Like their kids?
I guess maybe it's their kids or something. As I mentioned before, Kevin Smith just recently did The Flash, and I guess he liked TV so much.
Like a TV series.
So it's going to be Mallbrats, and it's going to be a 10 episode TV, for TV miniseries, I guess.
So it's in the spirit of the original Mallrats movie, but just stretched out for TV.
because everybody's coming back. The cast is coming back for this 10-part episode. Hey, the guy's he made a lot of those names. I mean, he pushed he gave Ben Affleck Chasing Amy. So I mean,
this is all going to be parents.
Probably, except for
man, Kevin. Look, I go with the things that you do because somehow you make them make sense. But you gotta explain this one to me a little bit better. I'm gonna go with it. I'm accepting.
Dude, I can't wait. That's gonna be awesome.
Totally shut it down just in the whole story of it, but make me understand what this is about.
Did you ever watch the Clerks animated show?
I watched a little bit of it. I never actually watched all of it.
It's pretty freaking funny, man. It's pretty smart and underrated, I think. They didn't even give it a chance. But he's also trying to bring back a Buckaroo Banzai. Do you remember that one with Peter Weller back in the day?
I know.
Okay, well, back in the day,
I'm aware that there was a show called Buckaroo Banzai.
It was a movie.
Yes. Okay, I'm aware that there's something called Buckaroo Banzai, and I'm aware that Peter Weller was in it. That's all I really remember.
I think Goldblum was in it too.
Really?
Boys and girls, do a search for The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, because Kevin Smith wants to actually bring that back.
He doesn't know.
That would be kind of cool, though.
No, because the audience is super old for that. Nobody really remembers it. Save your money, Kevin. Don't do this. Don't do this.
So, one part 2 that I'm actually looking forward to, Mallrats is being split. I'm really looking forward to that. To another that is very confusing to me, and Terrence brought this up, and Passion of the Christ Part 2?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I remember this one kind of parody where it was the Passion 2, and he's got like guns, and he's.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's all I'm picturing in my head.
And Jesus has guns, and he's like like machine gun preacher over here, and. But now, no, I don't. No.
In my head,
Passion of the Christ is a freaking classic. It needs to be left alone.
In my head, all I can hear is freaking Terminator 2. That's all I hear.
With Jesus. No.
All right, so I posted this because I just found out about it today. I posted this on our Facebook, and one of our good friends, Marshall, was smart enough to remind me, hey, New Testament.
That's what it's going to be about, the New Testament.
Well, it didn't. I mean, the only thing that they actually have out there, because this is still in the works, they're trying to get it greenlit, is that they were thinking about doing his resurrection. So, but
they already
as
did
far
that.
as source material, they have all the New Testament. So, because I was like, you know, man, Hollywood's messing up the Bible by doing sequels, and he was like, well, you know, they have the New Testament. I was like, freaking Bible invented the remix, man. They invented sequels. There was no Puff Daddy. There was no T2. Bible started it all. New Testament.
MCJC? Jeez.
I'm all on board for this.
I am not on board for this. If you want to see the resurrection, watch Risen with Joseph Fiennes, then there you go. You don't need to watch...
No!
You don't need to watch
Moses.
Passion.
How many Moses movies do we have? We have a crap load of Moses movies. Jesus can't get another sequel. Jesus can't get another movie. He only get one movie. Come on, man.
The highest rated R movie, the highest
Passion of the Christ.
Passion of the Christ is the highest grossing rated R movie, or did Deadpool beat it?
I'm not sure.
We have to look that one up. We have to red ink that one. But no, I would definitely leave that alone, especially if Mel Gibson wants.
They didn't say reboot it. It was like, you know.
Well, you can't reboot.
Meet the new Jesus Christ. And he's got new robes and new powers. All new miracles.
In IMAX. Mel Gibson's gonna come back, possibly.
He's part of this whole movement trying to get this done.
Now he's been pretty much freaking like alienated from Hollywood. Now this and Apocalypto are probably his best movies.
Do you know
as far as directing Braveheart? I'm sorry, Braveheart. So I mean, why would you want to? I mean, are you that bad, that desperate that you want to get back into good graces by making this kind of movie? I mean,
first and foremost, did we just not do a segment on Mallbrats? Are you? You were talking about desperate.
That's what I said. Mallbrats. No, he's doing that just for the fun of it. You're gonna sit there and tell me he's gonna make Passion 2 for the fun of it?
Hey, first of all, have you ever noticed like all the religious movies that come out, they do really, really well.
Yes, of course they do. Yeah, absolutely.
They come out around Easter. People support them.
Miracles from Heaven. Yeah. Heaven is for real.
They do. Really,
the Young Messiah.
There is money to be made for them to do this film. And,
yes, I understand.
And to have it in this particular, Risen did well. Why can't you do Mel? There you
go. You did Risen.
Okay. Did Mel Gibson direct Risen? Did Mel Gibson direct Risen? Did he direct Risen? Did he direct Risen? No, he didn't direct Risen.
Fine.
He didn't do that. Let him do his movie. Give Jesus some props, man.
Charlie Sheen will.
We already didn't do him in
too now, because he needs to get in good graces too. How about that?
He can direct the sequel to Philadelphia.
There you go.
Boom.
He brings up or he conjures up Tom Hanks. That's awful. I'm not even gonna get into that with you. That's awful. All right, so this weekend is Finding Dory weekend, and it's gonna be freaking huge movie.
Right.
But there's also
I'll be there with my kids.
But there's also Central Intelligence with The Rock and Kevin Hart. So I put it out there on Twitter, and you guys voted for the best buddy/buddy cop movies.
Just say buddy.
Buddy movies.
Yeah.
It's time for our top 5.
And we're back.
All right, so the top 5 buddy movies, been a lot of them, and a lot of them really from the 80s and 90s, and I mean, it was just a big thing.
The era of buddy movies.
The era of buddy movies. So Terrence, go first.
All right, so normally when I'm thinking of my top 5, I have to sit there, think about it, weigh my options. Do I like this one better than that one? This team took me exactly 5 seconds to write. Because I know my top 5 buddy movies.
Oh, all right, here it is.
Number 5. And when I was a little worried that I came up here because me and him think alike a little bit, so I was hoping we don't have the same ones. But spoiler alert, Lethal Weapon's not on my top 5. So go on and get your hate comments down here right now.
And neither was Batman, and he barely made it in your last top 5. But anyway, all right.
Number 5. Tango and Cash.
Tango and Cash.
I love Tango and Cash. I think that Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell missed the boat. They should have done more together. They should have been Lethal Weapon. They should have been Lethal Weapon to me. That's how well I felt like their chemistry was. And obviously we know Sylvester Stallone does action, Kurt Russell does action. I think that was a better buddy cop together than Murtaugh.
Oh, you are out your mind.
Hey, it's my top 5. So anyway, that was number 5.
Well, that was also for at Robert Palacios. He mentioned Tango and Cash on Twitter.
Oh, see?
So there you go, Robert.
Because thank you. All right, number 4, basketball.
Basketball.
Basketball. Matt and Trey from South Park. I mean, they are lifelong buddies.
Sports top 5.
Because it's a good movie. But not just because I say baseball, but it's because they've been friends forever, that their chemistry shows in everything that they do.
That's true.
And obviously their best movie is Basketball, because I could have said Orgasmo.
Their best movie was freaking South Park. Come on.
That was them doing characters. I mean, I'm talking about that was them doing voices of characters. This is them on screen as buddies.
Fine.
So
Orgasmo was funny though.
Orgasmo was
Chowder boy.
Look up Orgasmo. But Basketball is number 4. All right. Number 3. White Man Can't Jump.
Sydney.
Video. Come on. White Man Can't Jump, and that's one of those films that really deserved a sequel. It really deserved a
It was
sequel.
called Money Train.
Okay. I'm just gonna move on now. Because kind of, sort of, a little bit inside of me says this, that was called Money Train, and that didn't work out. That didn't work out.
Because they threw Jennifer Lopez in there. If they would have put her in there, it was just them, no love interest or anything, it would have been better.
But that's what made it, because they had to do love interest like they did in White Man Can't Jump.
Well,
I mean, but not between them, but he had to love somebody.
We just need love.
All right, number 2. Blues Brothers, because we talked about 80s movies, and I only put Tango and Cash, so I got to go back to the 80s here. Blues Brothers, so iconic that people can still dress as them, can still
But
play
they were
music.
brothers.
They were still buddies? They were still buddies?
No more drink for this man.
They were still buddies.
Okay, go ahead. So you can still dress like them? Go ahead.
No, it's like you can still watch the movie, the music's still iconic, and you still fit, God, I can't get my words out, but it's one of those films that it can go through time. And
Absolutely, I agree. It's an awesome movie.
From a skit on Saturday Night Live to the film, it just translated. And it's because of their chemistry in that from the skit on the show to the film, it just works. And it can never be done again in that particular one. We tried Blues Brothers 2000, and that completely failed. But
I like Blues Brothers 2000.
Maybe on a You Don't Hate. Maybe. Maybe on a You Don't Hate. All right, so that brings me to my number 1.
Number 1.
All right, so do you want to guess what my number 1 is?
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys! Of course it's going to be Bad Boys. Of course it's going to be Bad Boys. I mean, we're still clamoring for Bad Boys 3.
And 4 now.
So,
Both of them.
there's like Bad Boys 1, great. Bad Boys 2, great, even though it became the Mike Lowry show for a little bit in that movie. But still, they work so well on screen that you just can't get past that you want to see more of them. That Bad Boys could have been a 4-hour movie, and we would have sat through the whole thing. It would have been the.
Well, that was Bad Boys 2.
It
felt like a 3 or 4 hour movie.
Hey, and I loved every minute of it.
So did I. I loved it. It was awesome.
All right, so that's my top 5. So, let's see how many he has.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, so my number 5 now. Some of my titles are gonna be titles that you probably never even heard of, but it's all right.
All right.
My number 5 is.
Leave your comments below for his top 5.
My number 5 is Stakeout.
With
Dreyfus and Emilio Estevez. That movie was so funny.
Oh my God! If you had picked up Emilio Estevez, you should have picked Working Men.
No.
Men at Work. Men at Work.
No.
Working Men. That sounds like.
No clap.
Men at Work's a better movie.
No way. Stakeout was awesome. Everybody, thought that the chemistry between an older Richard Dreyfuss and a young Emilio Estevez was going to be kind of like, conflicting, where Estevez was going to get into trouble, but it was Dreyfuss that was getting into trouble. And just that whole dynamic was hilarious. The way they talked to each other, the pranks they made with the other cops, it was just priceless. And every time that movie comes out, I have to watch it because it is so funny.
Funny, but Men at Work was still a better movie.
No, it was not. Number 4, The Last Boy Scout.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
The chemistry between
Damon
Wayans and Bruce Willis was hilarious. And Bruce Willis, man, I thought he was like John McClane on weed.
He's always Bruce Willis, though.
But he was just really mellow and just cool and just, he gets punched in the face and he picks up back a cigarette to smoke it. I mean, just stuff like that. It was just so funny. And Damon Wayans, that was actually probably, if I remember right, was his first movie after, or one of his earlier films while he was still doing In Living Color.
Yeah.
So he was still stretching his legs out as far as the acting thing, and he did a great job. So I freaking love Last Boy Scout.
Made me think of Glimmerman.
And you're gonna hate me for this one, but number 3 is Bad Boys.
Bro, know your list now.
Bad Boys is one of my favorite movies. It's actually, it's one of our favorites. We used to watch it all the time when we were younger, and it's just it mirrors us a lot in a lot of different ways of times in our lives. But it's just
number 3. This is how I feel, like how you felt about Batman.
Yeah.
This is
number 2, Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon's above Bad Boys.
Lethal Weapon is above Bad Boys only because Lethal Weapon is the one that started it all, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Shane Black wrote it, Richard Donner directed it, and the freaking sequels, that's about and I don't even think I put that in my top franchises, but that is just one great franchise. And to be honest with you, I like 4.
Jet Li had to save the movie. Jet Li had to save that movie. Jet Li had to save that movie.
I gotta go with the original, buddy cop thing.
Bullets, take a cop kill bullet. God, Jet Li had to save that movie. That's why it wasn't on my list.
He says in Hong Kong you'd be dead. He says it twice
in the 2 best parts of
whatever. Anyway, so Jet Li was awesome.
when they stole the money at the end.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Stole the money at the end?
Yeah, but he kept the money.
What? That's part 2.
No, that's part 4.
That's part 2. What money did he keep?
All
right, anyway, so
we're off track now.
So my number 1 is Vince Vaughn, Jon Favreau, Swingers. That's all day.
Okay.
That is a life-changing movie for me. If it wasn't for that movie, honestly, there's a lot of things I don't know where I'd be. With the dialogue in that movie, we hit so close to home on a lot of things, and it actually brought our friends all together really back in the late 90s. So that's my number 1 for that.
I'm surprised that we only had Bad Boys together on the same list. Wow, that's crazy.
Right? I had to go a little bit different. I like movies, stupid movies, and movies that you don't like, like Smokey and the Bandit Part 3. So we didn't have to rehearse that or practice that. That's how much we have that conversation about Smokey and the Bandit Part 3. Honorable mentions for me was Tango and Cash, Tommy Boy, and my honorable mentions were in your top 5. And White Man Can't Jump. That's funny. What's your honorable mention?
Well, Last Boy Scout, because I wasn't thinking about Last Boy Scout until you mentioned it. I was like, oh man, that was a great one that I didn't think about. Die Hard with a Vengeance. Die
Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, I mean, I could even say Die Hard because him and Reginald. What's his last name?
Val Johnson?
Yeah, Reginald Val. I was gonna say the cop from Family Matters, but Carl. Him and Carl
was the best. Oh man. Well, you know what? There was I was gonna say Civil War 2, but then
that's not really a buddy film.
I was just kidding.
If you want to say buddy film, you'd say Winter Soldier, and you could either say not Captain Winter Soldier, but you'd say not Scarlet Witch, but Black Widow and Captain America.
Oh, true. Hey, you know what? I was thinking about it. If Captain America is with Hydra, doesn't that make sense of why he's coveting Bucky so much?
But I mean, in a way.
What if they were? Forget it. That's a subject for another show.
In a way.
Terrence, take us home.
Wow, what you did? Now I'm thinking about this stuff now. All right, so. As always, guys, make sure you like and comment below. Definitely want to hear you guys top 5 for buddy films. I will attack the person that puts Ride Along in the comments below because But please tell me the rest of your other buddy films besides Ride Along down below in the comments.
How about Cannonball Run?
Cannonball. Well, I don't say that's a buddy film. There's too many people and there's too many characters in that one.
Yeah, but just Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise.
Too many characters.
All right, never mind.
And always, guys, make sure you subscribe so that way you know about all the films not all the films, but all the videos that we put out, so you can be aware and know the things that we do.
Awesome, and just from the goods, from the 3 of us, we just want to send our prayers and our thoughts to the families and friends that lost loved ones in Orlando.
Yeah.
We have a lot of friends and family that are part of the lesbian and gay community, and it would be pretty crushing if anything happened to them. So our thoughts and hearts are with you guys, and hate is wrong. That's just how it is, period, man.
Very, very sad moment there.
So, with that being said, I'm Manny.
Terrence.
And that's Aspen in the back, and that was the goods.